Hey guys, Spider Monkey here. If you're looking to download Mechwarrior Online in 2020 as a new player or a returning player, stick around. We're going to have a bit of a chat about it. Yeah, it's looking pretty good.
Medium base destroyed. Heatsink destroyed. Enemy base is being captured.
So guys, state of the game currently in 2020. If you are a returning player, not a huge amount has changed, say, in the last 2 years. Still some new maps or some modifications to maps and new mechs as usual. No massive releases of different game modes in the last couple of years. Solaris is still there and still up and running, and there's still obviously the competitive gameplay side of things. Overall, my biggest gripes currently that I've returned to are still the menus are so clunky. Things that should take 1 or 2 clicks take 7 clicks to get to, and it doesn't really matter how good your computer is overall. It doesn't seem to seem to improve your FPS. I mean, I'm running an 8-core 16-thread CPU, and I've also got a 2070 GTX 2070, and I'm still only getting sort of 70 FPS at best, but it's not optimized. It's not using everything available. The GPU's running at maximum 17%, and the CPU's running at, say, maximum 30%. It's just not optimized. So in saying that, though, the game still runs great. It's still really enjoyable in-game gameplay, and still runs smooth enough. So from that side of things, you're not going to get the massive FPS that you're used to with modern games. But realistically, if you weren't tracking it, you probably wouldn't notice, because, like I said, the game runs smooth, it runs nice. Now, for a new player coming into the game currently, that's going to be a little bit difficult if you're used to playing more modern games. But I wouldn't let it deter you if you enjoy big stompy robots. This is kind of the game for you, and it's got legs. Mechwarrior 5's out, and I think the franchise is just going to continue to grow and get bigger. They may even rebuild Mechwarrior Online completely, and we'll have another go at it. But I certainly wouldn't let that deter you as a new player. Now, in saying that, things like queue times for your quick play currently as an individual are really, really good. I don't think I waited any more than 1 to 2 minutes for a match, and that was in off-peak for, say, US times, but on peak for in Australia for our time zone. Yeah, so that's something that if you're a new player, you can just drop straight in, get a match easily, and if you're a returning player just wanting to start shooting things, exactly the same. You'll be able to just get in there. Now, in the off-peak time, or Aussie time, you're going to find it a little bit difficult to get a match with your friends if, say, you're only a 2 or 3 or 4 man. Obviously, if you're filling an entire crew, then you're going to get matches, but at the moment in off-peak, it's almost impossible to play with your buddies. Me and my friends normally will just sync drop, and sync drop is obviously when you just time your drop in quick play, but drop solo, and then you might face each other, you might be playing on the same team, who knows. So with that said, yeah, I'd still be keen to jump in and do quick plays, but if you've got you and a buddy who are looking to sign up and start playing together in and off peak times, like an Aussie type time zone, I'd be a bit hesitant. But if you're in a US time zone, or the varied US time zones, I'd just go for it because they pop all the time. at peak times. So I wouldn't be hesitant about that at all. Things like Solaris, which was a release that they did to do sort of 1v1, 2v2s. It still is, you can still get a match, but it's a bit slow, as it has been for a long time. You're still getting the 1s and 2s in queue. Yet again, peak times, it might be a little bit better. I did drop in this morning, which should be a US peak time, and still could see matchmaking happening, and still could see people were popping off getting matches. So that's still there. The population's still there for it. I think overall, for me, if I was a brand new player just looking for a random game to play, and I didn't really know the history of Mechwarrior, and I didn't really have a real super want to play a giant stompy robot, there's definitely better choices to make in 2020. If you're really keen to play this game, there's no reason why not to. Mechwarrior Online has one of the best communities I've ever come across in any online game. Everyone's super helpful. There's very little toxicity in Mechwarrior Online. You do always come across the random, which you just mute, but most of the time that random gets pretty shut down by all the other good guys that are around. And they're very open to new players. The Mechwarrior community want new players. They want the game to continue. So if you've got any questions, pop it up in chat or use the voice comms. And the voice comms are pretty decent in this. People can actually understand you. From that side of things, if you're a new player, you couldn't find a better community. These guys are great. So just get in there and give it a go. For a returning player, it's the same as old. You guys know what the game's all about. There's nothing, you're not going to return there's anything massively new. It's pretty much the same as you remember, and there's also no weird skill changes in the last couple of years. They did that big skill revamp a while ago, and that still hasn't changed. None of that's been respect, so I just jumped straight in. I didn't have to mess around with my skills. You can load it straight up and you can start playing. So overall, I would definitely say for new players who are really interested and old or returning players, well worth getting back into, even if it's only a bit of a stopgap between other games. But Mechwarrior Online's gameplay is still great. The sound effects are still fantastic. So that's really all I've got to say. Apart from that, guys, if you enjoy my content, please give me a subscribe or give me a like, or both. That would be really helpful. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Guys, that's so bad.
Yeah.
I was just getting annoyed. So then I was just like, we played long, we were playing ranked.
Yeah, totally.